Right then. So there's been in the fridge for 3 hours resting, and you want to squash it before we start into a long sausage shape. Something like that. Right. And then flatten it so it's like that kind of a shape. Now we're going to roll it, but before we do, I'm just going to put a bit of flour on. It's just a dusting, just to help it so it doesn't stick quite the same. Yeah. There you go. So it just slides a bit. Don't put oil on, because oil will make the next part difficult. Right, so stretching it out. Right, pick it up as well and move it around. And we're trying to get a nice thin shape. Get your table dusted. This is where you see the benefit from splitting it up into 2 pieces, because it does stretch a lot, which is okay if you've got a large table. If you've got a small table like I have here, it just get too big. Right. I'm just going to roll it the other way. I'm trying to get quite thin. It's difficult to explain how thin, but you get to the point where it's just not getting any bigger and you're pressing quite hard, so that'll probably be the point where you can stop. Oopsie days. Okay, well, that's the kind of size. Still quite manageable. Now then, it's still not thin enough. The whole secret is to get it as thin as possible. So the next stage is to make it thinner by stretching it. And just ease it out like that. Do it slowly, and it's better to do it in 2 goes. Go around stretching it, easing it out. Don't pull too quickly. If you pull too quickly, it'll snap. But if you do it slowly, it's much better. Just do to the end. So you get the idea. Right. Now then, that's still not thin enough yet, because I can't see through it. So when you've done that, go back to the beginning and do it again, and stretch it a little bit further and do it slowly. Just ease it out. Like that. It does stretch quite a lot. Still not thin enough. You can start to see, I don't know if you can see that, can you see that? I don't know if you can see it's slightly darker there, because you can see this, start to see the colour of the table through it. And I find that this is the best way of doing it, rather than using the rolling pin over and over again. Use the rolling pin at the beginning to get it started, but then stretch it. And I find that this way does give better results. If it's starting to come apart, that's obviously as it's going to go. You can imagine how messy this would be if you had oil on your tabletop. To lubricate it. And again, and just keep on going. Oops, it is. If it starts splitting like that, you know you're probably getting to the point where it's not going to stretch any further. And don't forget the edges. Which tend to get neglected. Right. And that will do. Right, now I'm going to press it down onto the table, just a bit. Now I can just see in places, you can actually see the tabletop through it. Stretch that down there. Okay, I think we're ready for the next stage now. Right, the next bit, get your mixture of butter and Trex or Crisco, whatever you used, and we're going to cover this surface with it. Now we only want a thin layer, so just spread it on. Whoops. It's easier going from the middle to the edges so it doesn't curl over like it did just then. Right, so spread it from the centre outwards. So it's all covered. There. Now then, starting from a small corner somewhere, this looks good. You stretch it, and I'm just going to fold it over a few times just to get started. And you stretch and roll, or stretch and fold. There we go. And you're trying to keep on stretching as you're doing it. By stretching it, you're making it thinner. Keep on stretching and rolling. Stretching and rolling. If you come across a thick bit, just stretch it even more. Okay. And it's this stretching bit here now that makes it even thin. Right, makes it very thin. Which is what you're trying to achieve. Right, stretch that bit out. Stretch that bit out. There we go. Curl it up. Just a little bit more of that. And that can go back in the fridge now for another hour. Have another rest. So it's been resting for an hour. And weighs about 8 ounces. So this will probably do about 6 Pastizzies. You want about 1.5 ounces, 1.25 ounces, something like that for a pastizzi. I'll just put these to one side. Right, now there's 2 ways to do this. The layers, you can't probably see, but the layers are this way around, so you can either you flatten it like that, alright, and then squeeze it out in the middle, to get that kind of a shape, and I'm going to just ease it up. Get some of your ricotta mix, put that in. That doesn't look very much, a bit more than that. A bit more. Right. Pull it up. So again, by stretching it, you're making it thinner still. And if you get the first bit squeeze in the middle, and then work your way down like that, and just flatten it at the end. Do the same on this side, and flatten it at the end, and just make your way around. So that's quite small. Right, now that goes onto a non-stick baking tray. The other way to do it, and this is the way they do it in Malta, right, kind of squeeze the end to seal it, and then you put your fingers in there, and you sort of pushing it in and easing it out. That makes any idea, it makes sense. Pressing in and pulling it out. So make a little pocket, and as you're pulling it out, it makes it thinner. You don't want it too thick on the base. Right? So you get a little pocket. In fact, I'm going to open this out a bit more because that's not enough room. Right? Put some ricotta in. Squeeze it together and just flatten it like that. Make it into the traditional pastizzi shape. And so on. Now it's up to you how you which way you prefer. There's a bit too much there. Just do another one. Put your fingers inside, pull it open, and you're pulling it up. This is, I personally think this is the best way, because this is how they do it in Malta. And I'm sure the more you did this, the better you get at it. And then kind of open it up, stretch it open. And again, the stretching makes it thinner, which is what you want. Dollop of ricotta. Maybe it's a nice big one. Seal it. And then flatten it down. That's good. And onto